Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Sorry that mine
Hi, how are you? Nice to see you again. Okay, tell us when we're live.
All right, going live.
When?
Now.
Okay, now, okay. All right, welcome everybody to another edition of the collective bargaining agreement session between Town of Pembroke Park and the FOP Lodge, which is negotiating this first-time contract. My name is Dave Lynch, the town manager. We all know who each other are, but we're gonna go around again because this meeting is being broadcast for our citizens, and we do not have lower thirds, if you're familiar with TV technology, to designate through a chyron who the person is that's talking. So in order for the public to know who is what person and what the role is in this thing, I'd like us to go around the horn again so that the public can see what we're doing. I want you all to speak up very loudly. It looks to be like the only microphones that we have available are the ones that are on the dais. Cynthia, is my audio being picked up okay right now?
It should, yes.
Or do you have a way of testing that?
Give me a second, I can.
Okay.
But I put all the mics, most of the mics towards your ways, so it should pick
I
up.
understand,
Okay.
but you know, there's no point in having the public pay attention if they can't hear what's happening, so,
I'll go outside right now.
okay. All right, let's pause for a minute while Cynthia can tell. But you're gonna have us talking, are you not, in order to test that?
I'll tell you right now.
Cynthia?
I'll tell you right now.
Well, but we have to be talking for you to test it.
Yeah, I'm good. Hold on, I'll tell,
Should be fine once I set these up.
So Cynthia, do we have effective audio right now?
that's, he was gonna check right now for me.
Well, yeah, but people are gonna have to talk for you to know that.
Yeah,
Everybody
yeah.
sitting here with their mouths shut isn't good. Okay, why don't we do this? Let's do the introductions, and that'll be our test pattern for audio. My name's Dave Lynch, I'm the town manager.
My name is Angela Frambois, I'm the director of the FOP.
Scott Hanneman, State FOP.
Sergeant Brian Dodge.
Okay, wait. Can you guys just slow down a minute? I'm sorry, Angela?
Angela Frambois,
Okay,
director for the district for the FOP.
okay, perfect.
Scott Hanneman, Hannemann, State FOP.
Yeah.
Brian Dodge.
Paul Maniatis, MANIATFOP.
Rose Darajati, FOP Council.
Chandler Williamson, Deputy Town Manager, CHANDLER, last name Williamson.
I'm Denise Heekin. I'm with the law firm of Bryant Miller Olive. I'm representing the town in connection with the negotiations.
Dan DeCoursey, Chief of Police. Jason Ochoa, Deputy Chief.
Okay, we're gonna wait a moment for Cynthia to come back and tell us if that made a good sound check. But my experience is that most of us were not projecting loud enough. All of us?
Yes, we're good.
Everybody?
Yes.
I'm gonna change to see everybody here to be seen, not over there.
Okay. You're changing the mics, is that what you're doing, or changing the camera?
My copy.
But the audio is good?
Yeah, your audio's fine.
Okay, all right, well, let's
Do
get
you
started
need to have
then.
the chief and deputy chief on camera, or just the folks here?
Folks there.
It's not necessary. Okay, all right, well, let's get started.
Zoom in on
All
fire,
right.
please.
As you know, up until this time, we've been talking about a lot of different issues, none of which were the financial ones. And so what we'd like to do is find out what your financial position is, so we can finally get down to brass tacks. That doesn't mean we're not gonna cover the other areas completely, but we have to begin to start the tennis match, right?
Yep, I agree. So this is gonna be our proposal that we're looking at. Here, chief,
Copy of it, so you're not looking.
we're good. Now, just real quick about these wages that we're gonna propose in today. We realize that we have to start somewhere. I'm also gonna pass out to you the current wage scales for all of Broward County for the next 3 years. When you look at this pay scale for all the other agencies in Broward, you're gonna see that the wages that we're proposing is at the extreme lower bottom of this chart. We understand that we have to get somewhere here, and we feel that this is extremely fair wage proposal to get us in the right direction.
Why don't you give us a moment to
Sure.
review this?
Yep.
So question, your number here in the, I guess would be the third column, is that the maximum on those
Yes, ma'am.
salaries?
Those are, you're looking at the county?
Yeah, so for instance, officers, it's got officers, the first one is BSO and then
Right.
Coconut Creek. So the October 1st, 2022 through September 30th of 2023, the numbers you have listed there are their maximum
Yes,
on
these are
their
all,
salaries.
they will operate under top out salaries,
Okay.
yes, ma'am.
Do you have another copy by chance? Kind of like to keep a clean
county
copy
one?
and then make
Oh, yeah.
notes. Okay, so this is all, and it's a top out for sergeants and lieutenants
Yeah,
also?
everything is deemed as top out,
Everything's
yes.
top, okay.
Just as a matter of interpretation, can the representative of the union tell us what percentages these represent in terms of the COLA and in terms of the step increase? Can you break it down to those two categories?
Yeah, so basically what we did was, there's, well, currently, we don't have a scale system for our positions. There's like a, well, I take that back. We don't have a step plan set up, which is pretty standard across the board for every police contract. We only have a range. So we only have a range of 55 to 86 for patrol officer, and for supervisor is 90 to 99. Those are the only, that's just the range. So there's no set step per, per increase per year.
So your
So
base year is
initially-
step one, basically?
Right, so if you look up here, this is what it currently is at the very top.
Right.
And then what we're proposing for our first year of our contract, our base would go from 55 to 62.
Right.
Right, so that's basically where, like, a starting point for us.
Okay, and what percentage increase is that?
So from 55 to 62, I can do the math for you if you want, but we were trying to come in underneath, I'm sorry, it's 12%. It's 12%,
12%?
yes, ma'am. We did a 12% increase for the 3-year contracts.
Okay, so
For
the
each year.
first year is a 12%
I'm
COLA
sorry.
increase.
Let me just double check
Okay.
the math on the first year, because
I'm
what I
presuming
did,
that's a combined step and COLA is all in it.
no, what I'm saying is the top out is a 12%. They're 12% increases from the first year contract to the second year to the third year, and that will bring us to the lowest in the county, like one of the lowest in the county.
Okay, so it's essentially a total of 12, 12, and 12.
Right.
Okay.
That's the way we drew up the contract. To get your answer, ma'am, let me just double check my math. Some of this was done while I was half asleep.
Do you have a breakdown of that 12? What constitutes the?
It's 12 from here to here.
Right, I get that.
Yeah.
But how much of that is breakdown between cost of living increase and,
Well, we didn't break it down for.
so you didn't break it down, that was just 12,
It wasn't
12.
broken down that way, right? We were just trying to get us somewhere in an argument where we could say, hey, we're somewhat competitive
Yeah.
to try and bring in officers and maintain what we have.
And then what's the percentage increase also between the steps?
So it should be 3%, which would kind of speak to what you're talking about.
Yes,
as far as
right,
COLA
yeah.
goes.
Yeah.
Annually, so if we have an officer at step 4, the increase from step 4 to step 5 should be about 3%, which would then which would speak to about a COLA. But of course, it changes, it fluctuates, I know, but that's kind of just the standard of setting it ahead of time, so we're all on the same page, and the officers know what their pay is supposed to be
Sure.
from every year.
Okay.
Now, again, I want to stress to you guys, again, these numbers, we know you guys have to start somewhere. You know, we're not asking you to, 50%, we know we have to start somewhere. These numbers are at the very low, the lowest in Broward County after you look at all the county agencies. I mean, Denise will speak right now as far as, we did Plantation about 2 months ago, and the city of Plantation stepped up, and they really took care of the men and women there, and again, Denise was part of that. We're just asking you to come in and look at these numbers and say, hey, we have to start somewhere and take care, you guys want to attract people to come here. And if you don't have the numbers to do that, people are not going to want to come here.
You'll basically turn this police department into I call it a gypsy police department. New officers will get hired here, will get trained here, and you'll go somewhere else. And that's not good, advantageous for command staff, for the agency, for the town, and for the community itself. The community wants to know their officers. They want to know Brian. They want to make sure Brian's around. So this is kind of the industry standard of step plans for law enforcement, as well as the pay scale. I think it's relatively low, but you have to start somewhere.
Sure.
And this is a small town. So we get that.
Yes, and it's quite different from Plantation. Plantation's a very well-established city, and,
Right, 100%.
so you also have to look at the community you're in. It's a new
Right.
town.
Right.
We've
And
got
that's
a
why we have
lot-
the numbers.
Yeah,
That's
and
why we
have
did this.
A lot of, different investments that we
Yeah,
need to make,
yeah.
right?
And
To-
again,
to-
that's why we
yeah.
brought these numbers into you, for that reason.
Okay.
So I do have, is the 12% COLA the same for your sergeant and lieutenant?
Yes, ma'am.
So where it's going from, and then is it still
So-
an approximate 3% between steps?
Yes.
Yes, so the difference between the topped-out position of of a patrol officer to the starting base salary of a sergeant would be a 5%,
5%.
which was already what it was from the town already. They just utilized that rule that they used. And the same thing from the topped-out sergeant's position to the base lieutenant's position is simply 5%, and then it would be a 3%. Of course, I put 3 steps for sergeant and lieutenant. That stuff, most agencies are 3 to 5 steps for the supervisor positions.
Sure.
I mean, I'm not saying like, oh, it has to be 3 steps, right? I just put that in there because it's basically what an industry standard, if you will,
Sure.
is in these positions. Same thing with a 10-step program. For patrol officer, it's an industry standard.
Okay. Well, on behalf of this municipality, we appreciate this. We'd like to go into a brief recess and caucus so we can chat about this and come back here.
May I add one more thing before?
Oh, sure,
we
of
go?
course.
I do want to point out, you currently have three people in this police agency that are operating as supervisors, and they are operating under the patrol officer salary scale. That was something that was supposedly rectified, previous administrations, it has nothing to do with anybody in this room. But they are operating for well over a year, one individual, almost 2 years, at the wrong scale. And you can imagine the amount of money that they are foregoing in still completing those jobs. So I just want you to keep that in mind when we talk about loyalty and the people that you still have here. We have lost several officers to other agencies because, and this is the main reason. So I understand the town's position, but I'm just trying to point out that there might be some things that are going on that you guys just inherited. And,
Yeah.
and so, and that's opposite of what the town policy says about the acting positions. So,
Okay.
just so you're aware.
All right, so we're gonna go to recess for about 15 minutes. It may not be that long, so don't wander off too far. If you can take us off live, Cynthia, and we're gonna go back into the caucus room back there, okay? Cynthia, check that door is open too. Mark said he opened it for us, but
Gotta watch this. Yeah. She's still recording, so she's on her way down. So,
she's not here?
no. she's
Okay,
back
well,
up.
we can still wander into the room.
Yeah. Okay. I think you left this door open, not that door. The other door.
We can get in that way?
Yeah, that's what Mark
Okay,
said.
I don't care, as long as we get in there.
Yep.
They all went out.
That's all right, yeah, but it's recording. Let's grab them out of the. Can you imagine? I think we only need 3, right? How many are in there?
3 in there now.
Yeah, we got a total of 6 people.
I think James might be coming down soon.
Oh, okay. I told him he wasn't needed, but.
City.
Turn on the lights.
All right.
Title to it. I was like,
On.
wait,
Oh,
what?
what time is it?
What just happened here?
Nice little book.
I don't need to help you, but can you
Yeah.
So,
Guess I really don't need to do that, but.
We're live right now.
We're live? Okay.
Yeah, we're live right now. It took a lot longer than we thought, so we appreciate your patience. We are reconvened, and we've examined the information that you have conveyed to us, and we would like to, in response to that, make a brief presentation as a counter alternative, and Denise will make that presentation, and she has a handout. Denise?
So, thank you very much for your wage proposal. I feel at least we're kind of getting down to, certainly, I know something that's very important for your members. We do have a counter proposal for you. We have also just some language on the wage article, which I think is pretty straightforward. The basis of our plan, it's a step plan. There's 10 steps in the officer range, 3 for sergeants, 3 for lieutenants. There's one thing that I want to point out, your starting salary ranges, those numbers were wrong because there was a 2.5% increase that kicked in October 1st. So actually, our salary ranges for officers are 56,892 through 88,258, and this is going to be on the sheet.
You'll see it on the paper you're about to get.
And it's the same thing for sergeants and lieutenants, so we're actually starting a little higher.
Okay.
Which I hope is good. So for our COLA increases, upon ratification, we are proposing a 5% increase. And as of the first full pay period after October 1st of 2025, a 5% COLA increase. And then 3% in between each of the steps. Additionally, we would like the ability to provide an incentive bonus if necessary for purposes of hiring and recruitment.
For new recruits.
And then, if we're able to hire somebody into, who has some experience and stuff, have the ability to place them into the step plan, at a rank and step commensurate with their education or their prior experience, training, that type of stuff. So I think that is pretty much what's written in our wage proposal, and what I've given you is the actual step plan. Which really, the 5% and the 3% increase, that's a overall 8%. And I think,
That's for the total of the 3 years?
no, this is for a 2-year contract.
For a
So this-
2-year.
This is for a 2-year contract. It's upon ratification and for 25-26. I realize you guys had proposed a 3-year contract. We're proposing a 2-year.
And why is that?
Because, this is the first time around. Right? There could be things that change that we need to make movement on, that have to see how this goes.
So what is the percentage from base to top out you're proposing in your step plan? Because the common practice is normally 50% from starting base to top out for officers.
We just took 3% from each of the steps to go up, so I'm sure we could figure that out, but 58 and 25 would be 3, so it's less than 50%. Just by looking at it, you can see that, from base to top up, but that's not how they did their base plan. They took the step plan, increased the minimum range, and then went up by 3%.
So my question,
And I don't believe we have anybody that's even close to the top at this point.
Well, how would
So-
we know, not to interrupt, I'm sorry, but how would we know where our officers are on the step program?
So this is how they would be placed in it, and that's part of our wage language. We would put them into the step plan, right? And whatever step would give them at least the 5% increase.
that's the first step, technically, because your first year, you get a 5% COLA.
Well, the first step are for initial hire. So there are people who have been hired at somewhere between the 56 and 88. So if we have a new hire, they're gonna come in at the 58,279, right? And then sometime, if they're a new hire, then they would go, really, they'd get their COLA increase on October 1st, go to 61, and then sometime during that year, they would go to the 63. But we have people who, is what I understood Brian's question to be, is like, we have people who are between the 56 and 88.
Right.
So we'll go ahead and look at what their salary is and put them into the step that gives them at least a 5% increase. So it could end up being 6 or 7. We could figure that out for next time, but
So this current range that they have right now is 56 to 88,
correct,
and you're proposing them to go to a range of 58 to 76.
correct.
So taking away money from the range.
Well, that's only if somebody's at the top, but I don't
Right.
believe anybody's gonna be at the top. Nobody's gonna lose money on this. Nobody's near there.
And not.
Okay, just so I understand this, so the first year, ending effective 24 to 25, what is gonna be the top out at the end of that first year for a patrol officer?
Is what is shown there, 76, but we don't have anybody who's near that, is my understanding.
And then year 2 is top out at what?
That's 79.
I just want to point out that the top out salary you're proposing is approximately $20-some thousand less than the lowest paid county for patrol officers.
But nobody's near the top out.
Not yet.
And so
but
if they
no one's-
go,
And ma'am, no offense, but no one's going to get there because no one's going to want to stay for that.
it's so this is a 2-year contract, so
Understand.
there's certainly room to tweak it beyond that. None of those people can leave and go make the top out of any of those other agencies right now, either.
But they
just-
also can start at 78,000
So-
plantation.
If they can get hired at Plantation.
Trust me, they can start a Hollywood hire, and we're 18 short. What you're gonna do with this proposal is gut this police department. I'm telling you right now.
So what's the
just from
minimum
seeing-
at Hollywood?
Hollywood right now is 60, no, let me pull up the contract.
68 or 69.
Yeah,
We literally just
I'll
lost
go
somebody.
look at it, I have it on my,
We just
I
lost
have it in
somebody to
my,
Lauderhill.
well, you guys
recently.
just gave us the top out, so.
But, no,
Yeah.
well, no, I'm talking about from this, if you look at the step plan that I proposed
Mm-hmm.
for that, but we just lost an officer to Lauderhill. So
Mm-hmm.
when you say that if they can get hired at Plantation, I mean, we have officers leaving, and going to other agencies,
I'm
and they're
sorry.
starting at higher than.
Alan?
And we also
than the
have,
top
we
out.
also are getting applicants here, we have interviews today.
So that's something, it's gonna go back to my point exactly. You're gonna turn this place into a gypsy police department where officers, all these applicants that you probably got that are probably are newer officers that have never been certified. We'll take all of your certified officers from your agency. You'll have guys that stay probably the minimum requirement of 2 years that you normally sign contracts with, so they don't have to pay back. The city will lose money because now they have to retrain officers, and you guys will go to BSO. I guarantee it.
Well,
I'm just letting you know that.
you know-
That's what it looks like.
Yeah, I'm really taken back. I'll be honest with you. I thought this was extremely fair, putting you at the bottom, and you're actually, in my opinion, insulting us, bringing it further down from where we are. And that's if I'm wrong, you can tell me, but I don't think I am. So why don't we want to give us
I
a
mean,
few minutes, or if there's something else we
Sure.
want to discuss?
I mean, I don't think our minimums are too far off. It might be a little low, but this, not too far up, but you gave us all maximums on your comparators.
Okay,
And so I get the maximums, but you understand, like, our people are not near there,
right,
so.
right,
So if you want, we could, I guess,
And
next
listen,
negotiation.
yeah.
Yeah,
Bring
talk.
back, I would say next negotiation, we can bring back all the minimums that anybody can just, brand new day one
I
officer.
have them, we have.
So
yeah.
that's what I'm saying, and that's
Right.
why he's saying it's a bit insulting, because you're just setting up a police department for failure. And honestly, it's the town will, as well as the command staff, these guys are gonna be running, because how many officers do you have here? 12?
12, 13.
So, 2 guys leave, you're gonna be you're already working a 12-hour shift for these guys. You're gonna be stretched thin where you're gonna have other agencies like Hollywood or BSO start filling in gaps. That's what you'll need to do.
Okay, well, do you guys want to talk? I don't know if, and we have other stuff to go through today, but if you want to
Typo?
talk for a minute, or,
Denise,
yes.
don't ask the right to hide something.
Just wanted to give you the updated sheets. There was a typo in the first one.
Okay,
You're all set.
thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
If you wanna give us 5 minutes to caucus.
Yeah, so listen, but there was a typo in the salary range on officer. The current salary range does not go to 88, it goes to 74, which,
Even worse.
yeah, but, so you have the correct information.
Thank you.
Nothing right?
There you go. Okay. The rest
So you want us to adjourn into the caucus
Okay.
room, or you want to stay here? How do you want to do this?
We'll exit the building after we're.
Okay.
No.
Say they can-
We can exit.
No, you guys stay here.
Okay.
Good, let's go. Let's go outside.
Yeah, we
you
have
go outside.
another
You guys
room.
relax.
Do you know how to reach us to call us back in?
The door.
Yeah, but just bang on that door.
Goodbye.
All set? Thank you. All right, we're gonna pause on the wage article at this time,
Okay,
and like to go to Article 29. And it was rejected by the town. And can you give us an explanation why it was rejected? 29.
And then this is the death in the line of duty article.
well, I know that there's, I've gotta tell you, I was here at the last time when it was rejected. I know that there are certain benefits that you get under the state statute, and I think those are probably sufficient, in terms of the line of duty.
So this is a benefit to the officers who die protecting the city, and so all the.
I understand that, and there are benefits that they receive under the state statutes if
But you
there's a
said-
death in the line of duty.
Right, but you said that are probably sufficient. So probably and sufficient, I think shouldn't be kind of how categorized in the same sentence.
And secondly, I don't know of any, other agencies that have another benefit in addition to whatever the state statute provides.
So to get
And
those,
I'm not saying that, they don't,
Fort
They
Lauderdale
don't-
does, and I know Hawkhead.
So-
okay, two of them, hold on.
okay,
I believe the town also provides, life insurance as a benefit.
So-
And it looks like this is reimbursement for expenses for a funeral memorial service. And that's all that amount is for, correct?
correct. So you want to start the officers at the lowest salary in the county. Those benefits that you speak of from the state or from other entities happen after the officer's buried. So you want to put this officer's wife in a financial hardship to bury her own loved one that served this community and got shot or killed in the line of duty, and waiting for those benefits to kick in.
You're saying the problem is that there's a delay?
There is a delay. I've
Yeah.
dealt with it with Officer Andy Chirino and Lieutenant John Graham. To me, that's disgusting.
I also had to do the financial benefits for 2 police officers in Miccosukee. It's not a smooth process.
What's the dollar amount? Do you know what that is? With the state?
For what?
the other
I
benefits
don't
are?
remember off the top of my head. I
It's a
thought it was
set
like
amount.
100 or something.
I don't know what it is off the top of my head.
And they provide something separate for children and, but we could look at it next time. Okay, is there anything else that you'd like to discuss?
Was it number,
Yeah, and
Article?
then Articles 4, 14, and 31 were also rejected, and we'd
Yeah, we
like to
just
know
like to
why.
explain why.
Well, my memory of 4 and 14 had to do with, the defense provisions, and there was defense provisions in the state statutes. I don't think you need anything more in the contract.
Okay, what about 31, use of force?
Same thing, it's a legal standard. It's a legal standard, it's also gonna be addressed in SOPs.
Want to address it in the CBA?
SOP should be sufficient, and it's probably gonna need more than just 3 paragraphs that were proposed. Usually the use of force statute, use of force standard operating procedures that I've seen can be 10, 12 pages long,
Okay.
not 3 paragraphs.
But-
And I think that's all something that, it's a new department, they're in the process of getting all their standard operating procedures in place. I mean, once
this
they
is why
do
we wanna
that,
add
they
it.
will,
Yeah, do you guys
you will
have
see
an
it.
SOP?
No, we do not have one right now, it's my understanding, and so you will, when we have one, you'll have one,
Oh,
and you'll
when
get
we
to
have
look
one.
at it, and
But again, this is why we're proposing it, to put in the CBA, so we have something. This is why we're here, this is why we're
3
negotiating right now.
paragraphs doesn't get you a use of force policy.
Well,
It
it
gets
gets
us
you
something.
more than what you
I
have.
mean, You know,
Half your policy says City of West Palm Beach.
Right,
Mm-hmm.
so it's pretty embarrassing.
in the
Right,
process of changing that, I believe the department's also gone through a number of changes since they've first been, I guess, constituted. I don't know how many police chiefs we've been through, how many city managers,
You'll have a lot
it
more
takes
cops
turn,
too.
so.
yeah, okay. All right, so we didn't get anywhere. I guess we're done for the day, and I guess we'll set
Well,
up another date.
we have, you know what, we'll go ahead and do that because the other stuff that I have, we can go through next time.
Okay. Sounds good.
would be nice to make more progress, but it doesn't really seem like you
I
guys
really,
want
I
to
really,
listen
I really wish we could.
at all, so.
Yeah, I really wish
Well,
we
it's not
could.
necessarily us not listening. It's my opinion of it. Yeah,
And if we're not here to point fingers, that's, we're not
No,
doing
not
that.
at all.
What we're here to do is come to an agreement. That's why we're at this table.
That's
to come
abs-
to an agreement.
Absolutely.
And we're not there.
We are not there
No,
yet.
no,
We have
no,
come to an
come-
agreement
come
on
on,
a
yeah.
number of provisions,
Yeah.
but, you know,
We're far off. We're very far off.
that's
And
why,
I'm-
that's why it's called negotiations, Paul.
I know.
Just like you came in, you say, this is where we're starting, this is where we're starting.
Yeah.
We were being realistic.
You know,
We
and-
could have started 20% above
Right.
everybody else, but we're being very
We're not gonna
realistic.
get there. We're not gonna get to
I know,
20%
and that's why
above.
we
We're
put
not
us
gonna
at
be able to get to
everybody
15%.
at the bottom.
Yeah,
Just
we,
with
we
the step
put
plan.
them at the bottom.
We're-
We can't go any lower.
We're not
Can't
gonna
go
be
any
able,
lower.
we're not gonna be able to go to 15%,
Postman makes more money. in this place.
you know?
Yeah.
So, I
And
don't know what
listen,
to tell
listen,
you.
I have total respect for you. I really do. Everyone in this room, I do. But we have to do something here. This is not gonna work.
We're getting there.
I put a whole contract together on my own for months. I dealt with Lorena for months, and I kept telling her, and I'm just giving you a little history here. And I told her for months, hey, we gotta sit down, we gotta get this contract together. It went on for months and months and months, pushing, kicking the can, not meeting, not doing anything. I put a whole contract together. I went through the whole county of all the contracts to try to put language together to help you guys start off fresh. And it was all very standard type language to help you guys. I put it all together. It took a lot of time to do it. And I provided that contract to you guys, and you guys completely just dismantling the whole thing. And I just can't understand why. I totally can't understand it. Very simple language that we can't even agree on. We couldn't